Hey there. Thank you for joining me, Stanley, on this Saturday. I know this is a little bit late. Things have been pretty crazy lately, but I did still want to share this video with you guys, talking about something that has been on my mind all year, but I think is more of a challenge to us now, probably than at any other time this year. Last year, God was really impressing on me a word for this year. Um, there are some traditions that do that more than others, where they ask you to find a word for the year. I've never been a part of one of those traditions, but I just really felt God putting this word to me for this year, and that word was celebrate. And some of the reasons for that is there is a lot in the Bible about celebrating and celebrations. The Bible talks about different celebrations all over the place. The Jews had certain celebrations, and you see moments where they're celebrating and moments where they are suffering, moments where they're told to have a lot of joy. In the New Testament, in the Gospels, Jesus talking about celebrations, it's all over. Jesus loves the imagery of a celebration. A lot of Jesus' events coincide with different Jewish celebrations. It is all over the place. And so it would make sense to look at the Bible and think about celebrating. But I also know it's something that I personally really need. It's really easy for me to just kind of go about things and begin to see some more of the negatives, see how some things aren't really working out the way that they should, and just really get down. And so I've tried to make it a regular habit to be grateful. But I also noticed last year, even trying to be grateful and continuing to name these things that I'm thankful for, I really just needed to become more fun. I needed to give myself the ability to just be more fun, to just enjoy some things that I particularly enjoy. I needed to give myself the freedom to celebrate. And I think one of the great dangers of the Christian life, as you grow in your faith, you might start off celebrating. I mean, you're so excited, you have a lot of positive things happen, and then you just kind of get into the rut of things that are going on, and your celebration moments are kind of outside of your faith. It's like you kind of celebrate a birthday. Yes, you celebrate Christmas and Easter, but it's so easy for those to just be the cultural celebration that they are, where you just celebrate getting to give gifts to each other, you celebrate time with family. And as good as that is, it's not what those moments are supposed to be. They're supposed to be hallmark moments in your faith, more than just throughout the calendar. And all of a sudden, we go to have fun, and it's like, oh, you're having fun, and that's kind of not really tied to growing closer to God. It's this other thing, and your time with God is this very serious thing. You should be kind of joyous, but it's always tinged with like a guilt and a sorrow, and really experiencing true abiding joy. For a lot of Christians, it's like on the outside of our faith. And as Christians, the language that we use, like joy and happiness, aren't the same thing. That as Christians, we're not necessarily happy, we're joyful. But surely as Christians, we should be striving for happiness too. And I was really feeling God drawing me toward this idea of celebrating. Let's be happy. Let's celebrate all the wonderful things that God's doing. And everything in the world kind of exploded. Yes, there were the wildfires, but those were removed enough that in some ways, like, you could pray about those, but they didn't directly impact us. They weren't as devastating to us. And then you began to hear murmurs of the coronavirus, but we've gone through global pandemics before, and it wasn't supposed to be that big of a thing. And then it really hit. And it's hitting closer and closer to home. It's getting to be a lot more likely that you know someone infected with the coronavirus. We're now hearing that it's even possible I could have had the coronavirus at any point in time. I could still have it and not know. Things are getting shut down all around us. Today, Kokomo made a declaration that no store is allowed to sell a non-essential good. And as our lives are kind of getting turned upside down with all of this stuff, we come back to the idea of celebrating. What on earth should we celebrate? I've just gotten to share with my churches that maybe the way to celebrate when the world's turned upside down is to lament. I define lament as a time where you can celebrate who God is and mourn the present wrong. And I think that's so true, and maybe this is a time where all of us collectively now have a chance to begin to lament, where we can now begin to pour out our sorrow before God and rely firmly on who God is and firmly declare who God is during this time, but still mourn all these things we see going on. But I also think that maybe there's another place for celebration during this time. I'm hearing of a lot of celebrations closing. A lot of different things people would celebrate are ending. Baseball's opening day didn't happen. The NCAA tournament didn't happen. Different nationwide celebrations, different local celebrations are not able to go forward. And I'm seeing some of the pain that that's causing. Real pain. I know my wife is getting ready to graduate with her bachelor's degree. And she was afraid that her graduation was going to get canceled. And it has only been postponed for the moment. But the real pain that caused, and other celebrations a lot of you are going through, seeing the real pain that losing those celebrations is causing. I wonder if maybe there's something we could choose to celebrate. Personally, I love thunderstorms. I've always loved thunderstorms. Growing up in north central Indiana, there are always plenty of thunderstorms, and it helped me stay very happy and excited to see them. And there's a thunderstorm today. There's probably going to be another one coming through tonight. Celebrate that. Maybe you just want to go out and just celebrate another day. See a beautiful sunrise and say, I'm going to celebrate. Maybe you just decide to throw a social distance block party where you are going to go out and you're going to celebrate, and you're going to let everyone know how grateful you are for them, and you're going to keep your distance and yet still be celebrating and cheering and singing songs. Maybe you're going to take some time to celebrate someone who's not going to be celebrated. Maybe you're going to take the time to celebrate with someone for the last time. And it's going to be a bittersweet celebration. Whatever it is, whatever that celebration is that you want to have, find a way to continue to celebrate. We need those things in our life right now. We can't just go about our day binging Netflix over and over again and think that that's going to be good enough to get us through all of this. We need something to lift our spirits. We need something to lift our eyes above the present suffering that we're experiencing. And there is really one thing that does that, and that's celebrating. Whether that's just celebrating who God is, and that maybe that's the only thing you can grab a hold of, and that's the only thing you can think of celebrating, then celebrate that. Maybe it's a little tiny thing that's going on in your day. Celebrate it. Maybe there's this big thing coming up that you know is going to kind of get blown over with all the stuff that's going on, but you can find a way to celebrate that in the moment to make sure that people know that you're grateful, you're happy, you're excited for the thing that happened. Whatever there is that you can do, please take some time to celebrate. Because there are still so many things worth celebrating right now. And if there was ever a time that we just needed to throw a party, I cannot think of a better one than now. Yes, we need to be vigilant against the things that are going on. Yes, we need to take care. Yes, celebrating during this time doesn't mean that I'm saying we shouldn't think about how bad things are. Things are not going well. But none of those things means that we should give up hope. None of those things means that we should lose our joy. None of those things means that we can't find a reason to be happy right now. There are reasons to be happy even now. There are deep-seated reasons for us to find joy in the here and now. So let's do it. Find something to celebrate. And then go after that celebration with everything that you have.